I'm Laura.
And we are Two Paper Girls. So it's October now, and today we're going to bring you our October TBR. We have university books and YA books that we want to read, so we're going to start with the university books. We want to skip over the boring bit to get to the YA.
We have quite a few, so let's just get straight into it. A play that we both have to read this month is A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. Most people have read this play and really enjoy it, and we're just out the loop. I'd actually sort of half studied it at A-level, but I decided to do The Great Gatsby for my coursework rather than this, so I have a tiny bit of knowledge about it, but not really, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one.
The next play that we both have to read for our 20th Century Plays module is A Good Person Who Sheds One by Bertolt Brecht. I don't really have any idea what this is about. I've just read the blurb for the first time, and I was like, oh, alright then. Looks really good. I'm really excited to read this one.
Then a book I have to read for my romanticism module that Amy's already finished is Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. I think I'm going to audiobook this one again like I did for Robinson Crusoe because it just sounds really weird and dense, and there's a free audiobook online which I can just play Pokemon and be working at the same time, so it works really well. But yeah, it's not too long though, it's shorter than Robinson Crusoe, so hopefully I will enjoy this one.
The next play that I have to read is Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw. Laura's already read this one and she really enjoyed it, and I've already started it, and so far I'm absolutely loving it. It's based on, well, it's from My Fair Lady, like the musical is made from this, and I just really like it. It's so cute so far.
I also have a module called Shakespeare and His Contemporaries on the page, and for that I have to read some sonnets and an essay by Sir Philip Sidney, which is in this book, but I thankfully don't have to read this entire huge major works. And then I also just generally have to read some other sonnets and poems, which is in this metaphysical poetry book, so I'll be reading a lot of poetry from that.
And for our romanticism module, which is called From Talking Horses to Romantic Revolutionaries, we have to read poems from these two giant anthologies. We have to read about 10 a week for each lecture, and there's a massive paragraph of all the books we have to read from these, and we have to lug these around, but this is such a good module, it's going to be so enjoyable.
If you want to know more about our university reading list for this semester from September till January, we've actually done a university book haul where we go through them all in a bit more detail, so we'll leave that down below. But now onto the fun YA bit.
The first book that I want to read is Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider. I read the beginning of everything and I really enjoyed it, and Laura's already read this and said that it's got like a Looking for Alaska John Green feel. It has lots of allusions to like pop culture references, and I'm just really excited to read this because it just looks so good, and I think it's going to be a really quick, fast-paced read.
First book I want to finish in October is The Next Together by Lauren James, which I'm about a third of the way through and really loving it. I started it before we moved into university and was loving it so much, but then had to move in and get settled, and it kind of got put on hold for a bit. We're actually interviewing the author soon, so I definitely want to get this done before we meet her so I can ask some really great questions. I think I'm going to buy a final copy of the book as well rather than this ARC copy, but this book is great so far, so I'm excited to finish it.
The next book that I want to read in October is A Tattooed Heart, which is a Messenger of Fear novel. It's the second one, it's the sequel to The Messenger of Fear. It's by Michael Grant, and I love Michael Grant, and I'm so excited to read this. It's a bit of a contrast to Extraordinary Means, which I think is why I want to read it straight after that one, because it's all a bit gory and a bit horror-y, and I'm really excited to read this. I've been putting it off for so long because I've got all the university books that we've got to read, obviously, but I'm so excited to read this. You can tell because I'm talking really fast.
The next book I want to read in October is The Copper Gauntlet, which is a Iron Trial Magisterium novel. It's the second one. It came out about a month ago. It's by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black. I read the Iron Trial for the Cramathon in summer and really enjoyed it. And I was actually really happy when this came in the post that it's shorter than the first one, because being at university, short books are the priorities. We can actually finish them and not get too stressed out with work. And this has huge font, not many pages, and it'll just be really cute and fun.
And the last thing that I want to get around to hopefully reading in October is Mosquito by David Arnold. I've seen this around BookTube a lot lately, and all that I know is that it's about a girl who escapes or something and goes on a trip, on a bus, on a Greyhound. America again. I know nothing about America, but this just looks really good, and I really like the cover. It's all pastel-y and I'm just really excited. I'm like, why is it called Mosquito Land? So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I hope I get around to it because we have a lot to read, but I'm feeling on a reading hype, so this could happen.
And the last full book I want to get round to in October is Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs. I had this pre-ordered and it got delivered to home, but luckily my mum and dad came to visit me at university and brought it along, and since I've got my hands on it. I'm just like, oh my god, I need to read it. Luckily, again, it's not too long because I thought this one was going to be huge, but I think it's a little bit shorter or the same size as Hollow City, which I did actually read in 2 days because even though it's quite a big book, really, really fast paced, and it's the last one in the trilogy, so I'm just so hyped to read this. It's gorgeous. And people haven't really talked about the dust jacket. Like, let me just show you the hardcover. Like, look, it's got all of the signatures of all the characters, and I do need to read a summary of Hollow City before I pick this up, but I'm so excited to read this. I don't know if I'll get round to it because it is one of the bigger books on my TBR, and obviously university is a priority, but I really hope I do get round to it. And the last thing I will hopefully pick up this month, which isn't a full book, but I feel like it'll get done because it's Rat Queens Volume 2. I have no willpower. I'm sure I even said in a video, not going to get this till Christmas because I want to stagger myself, blah 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 blah. Went into a graphic novel shop, saw it, had to get it because I got a 10% student discount as well. I feel like I will read this to reward myself after reading loads of uni reading, and it'll take me an hour and it'll make me so happy. So I'm really excited to read this.
So those are all the books that we really want to get round to reading in October. We've got a nice split between university and YA, so it's going to be a really good month hopefully.
So excited to get back into reading after having a really slumpy September. I'm really in the mood for all this reading.
So let us know down below what you're reading in October. We'd love to know, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.